thank you very much for allowing us to interview you today.
Pleasure.
Could you start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about you?
Yep, so I'm Michael. Went to Newcastle University for my undergraduate. Then I went to work in insurance for 4 or 5 years, after which I did an MBA. Ended up in insurance because I did geography as a degree, and I think everyone who does geography ends up in insurance.
So can you tell me a strange, funny or worst working experience you've ever had?
Oh, that's a tricky one. So I suppose strange for me was when I was working at Willis Towers Watson, which is a large insurance broker, and I went to go and work for one of our clients on a sort of secondment thing, and I was covering a maternity leave, and I was meant to be doing a 1-month handover, and then the lady who I was covering had her baby a month early, so we were literally meant to do a 4-week handover, and then had no handover at all. So, and the worst bit about it was the person I was reporting to was in America, so I sort of arrived on my first day, which was meant to be handover, but there was no handover, so I sort of got there, and I was suddenly in charge of insurance for Europe, for Marriott, with no prior experience. So that was
completely hit the ground running.
It was hit the ground running, and it was sort of in at the deep end and everything, but it was quite strange, sort of arriving at work having no idea what to do and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you made it through quite well. So.
Just about, yeah. I was a broker, so
what does that mean?
So basically, in insurance, not like if you were buying your own personal insurance on Compare the Market or something, you don't really have a broker because you don't. It's quite simple. Whereas normally in commercial insurance, you have the client, the broker, and then the broker accesses different underwriters. So the client will appoint a broker as their sort of middleman, I guess, as their advisor, and then the broker will reach out to different underwriters to try and find the client the best deal.
Okay.
So I was a broker, and the underwriter is the person who actually promises to pay if something goes wrong. The broker doesn't have that risk; they just take a commission on or a fee on the business. Yeah. Okay. My main role was client management, really. There was some elements of technical insurance placement and things, but a lot of it was client management, which is a useful thing to have, you know, whether you're in insurance or you're in, you know, PR or whatever. Knowing how to deal with clients and keep them on side and that sort of thing is quite a useful thing to know. Yeah, I think so. I'd learnt a lot. It was a lot around performance management, data analysis, that sort of thing. If you're going to join a big company like Willis, where I was, then you have so many different areas that you can go into. You know, you could be a maths grad or a statistician and go into sort of the actuarial side of insurance, or you could be. I don't think you actually need a degree to work in insurance. Like if you're more on the sales side or client management, then I think you can sort of learn on the job and that sort of thing. But
because it's such a big industry, there's so many opportunities and
like my company had stuff I didn't really even hear about, but it had it's got its own little boutique investment bank within the company. It's you know, there's got a big legal team, it's got a big marketing department. So I mean, you don't have to do sort of marine insurance for the rest of your life. You can do sort of all sorts within the company. So insurance is a very sociable industry. So there's a lot of, you know, especially when you're on the sort of client account management side of things, there's a lot of, you know, everyone talks about insurance as the whole, you know, out for lunch and not coming back, and it's got a lot less like that. It used to be really like that. it's still the case a little bit. Not people have cracked down a lot on sort of drinking at lunch, but there's still quite a lot of it. So I think the sort of social aspect of it, you need to be fairly kind of personable. If you're in the client-facing role or sales role, there are, if you're an actuary or, mind you, they present to clients, but there are roles. It's such a big industry, you can pretty much do what you like, I think. I think networking is really important, both internally and externally. I think for career development, certainly I found internal networking to be important. And I think for sort of stickiness at the company, so, to make you really valuable to the company, especially in client account management, external networking is really useful. So creating a really good relationship with your client means that you're very sort of, the company needs you really. And also creating a big network outside of the client. So in the insurance world, developing good relationships with underwriters, with risk engineers, the people who sort of survey buildings and that sort of thing. It's not all about, thinking about your next move. It's just about being, certainly in the insurance market, although it's London's the capital of the world for insurance, but it's still quite a small market, and people kind of develop a name for themselves, I guess, within the market. And I certainly had friends from university and things who worked for rival brokers, and it was useful to just meet up with them and talk about what their company's doing, or and that sort of thing. So I just say you're going to sort of miss out on 100% of opportunities you don't take, aren't you? So putting yourself out there is a great way of sort of creating opportunities for yourself.
That's great.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.